Hey everyone, it's Austin, your Bay Area real estate agent, and in this video, I'm going to break down what a lot of home buyers stress about when they're looking into a condo or townhome, which is the Homeowners Association or HOA, or more specifically, the HOA fee that you have to pay every month. Now, not all HOAs are bad, but there are some things that you need to consider. So in this video, I'm going to bring up 8 different questions that you should ask yourself and pay attention to. So if you are considering buying that condo or townhomes, there's not going to be any more surprises later. So question number 1 is regarding the HOA fees, and that is, what are you actually paying for? So every HOA is going to be different. They're going to provide different types of amenities. Some will provide water, some will provide garbage, some will have like pool access, gym access, paying for your insurance. So make sure when you do look at the HOA, make sure you know what they're going to pay for and provide. Now, some of these things might be things that you might have to pay for yourself if you were to own a single family home, right? For example, like insurance for the house. Normally, if you have a single family home, you have to pay insurance for yourself. Also, if you have exterior maintenance, you might need gardeners if you have a single family home. But because you have an HOA, at least the HOA will take care of that, included in that fee. Now, the second question that you should ask yourself is, how well are the HOA reserves funded? Now, a well-funded HOA reserves means that the HOA can quickly repair stuff if something breaks down, that the community is financially well off, and also it's less likely that the HOA is going to surprise you with a special assessment. Now, ideally, you want to see HOA funded about 70%, but here in the Bay Area, since the buildings here are definitely on the older side, it's generally going to be funded about 30 to 50%. So the key is to know, does their funding strategy make sense? Is that, do they have a good long-term plan so that this HOA will be financially healthy? So if you do notice that their HOA funds are kind of low side, some things I can ask them is, was there a recent project that you just done? Or also, what is their plan to ensure the financial health of this HOA so there won't be a future special assessment placed in the future? Now, the third question to ask is, what is the history of this HOA when it comes to special assessments? Because if there are a lot of special assessments, you want to know the frequency of these special assessments, so in case you do join this HOA, you can kind of know what to expect. Now, normally special assessments are only occurring if the HOA is not doing well financially, and there might be a big project that their HOA reserves cannot fund. For example, let's say they want to remodel like a roof for the entire building, or do a remodel of the pool, or repaint the parking lot. Bigger projects that normally aren't going to be your normal year-to-year maintenance. So if you do notice that the HOA does seem a little excessive on the special assessments, that does probably mean that is kind of a red flag, because that means the HOA isn't really properly planning financially for these type of projects. So that's something to steer clear of. All right, question number 4 is, are there rental restrictions? So this is important because even though it is your property, technically the HOA does have the authority to control whether you're allowed to rent out your property. And most properties here in the Bay Area actually are pretty on the strict side in terms of rental restrictions. Now, most HOAs only allow 25% of the units to be rented out. And because of that, there's generally going to be a long waiting list. So normally I tell buyers, if you're expecting to rent out your property, don't expect that you'll be able to. And you most likely will have to be on a wait list. Also, most HOAs here in the Bay Area don't really allow short-term rental or Airbnb or rental really under 30 days. So that's something to be aware of if you are a person who's looking to buy these properties and you plan to rent it out. Now, the fifth question probably only applies is if you plan to buy your condo or a town with a mortgage, but that's to know the HOA insurance policy. Because with the recent wildfires that we saw in Southern California this past year, a lot of these insurance premiums have gone up. So a lot of these insurance plans have changed. Some HOAs don't provide the normal insurance that you might expect. So before you do plan to purchase that property, make sure to have either a lender check the insurance policy or check the insurance policy for yourself to see if the lender will approve. Because if the insurance policy isn't strong enough, most lenders won't write for you, and you may have to cover the difference. For example, if you do a loan. All right, another question that you want to consider is, what are the future projects of this HOA? As you normally, if you do plan to buy a condo or a townhome, you can look in disclosures, look at the meeting minutes with HOA, and generally the kind of outline what's their plan for next upcoming year. Could they be trying to repair the roof? Could they be trying to do some sewer treatment? Are there some termite repairs that they want to do? A lot of ongoing projects that could be happening. So making sure that you know what project is going to come in the future, and that's going to make you more financially prepared to know what could possibly be coming. All right, next question I should ask yourself is, what are the lifestyle rules of this HOA? Now, some HOAs are really strict about it. Some HOAs are really chill about it. So some things that you need to consider is, like, what is the parking situation, right? Is it really strict? Is it open parking for everyone? Or is it everyone has assigned parking? And if you have guests, they need to have their own parking permit. Also, if you're a person who has pets, Most HOAs do allow pets, let's say 2, but not every HOA does. So be sure if you're a person with pets that you're familiar with the HOA pet policy. Also, knowing the noise hours. So if your person likes to have people over late at night, some HOAs are certainly more strict about noise. Also, you want to be familiar with the HOA renovation policies, right? I know certain people who look into these properties, they don't want to use the communal washer and dryer laundry area, and they want to install their in-unit washer and dryer. So some HOAs do allow that. Some HOAs don't allow that. I also know some people that want to change the floors. Let's say they don't like the hardwood floor, they just want the carpet floor, or vice versa. So through personal experience, most HOAs don't really allow the hardwood floor because they're worried about noise, but some HOAs are more chill about it. So again, those are things that you need to be considerate of when you're looking at these HOAs. And the last question that you should ask yourself is, does this HOA have good management? Because obviously, when you buy into this area, you're going to have to be communicating with this HOA person a lot. And if this HOA is not really responsive, that's definitely a red flag, and that could be a very painful experience if you ever have issues that need to be resolved. So make sure to be familiar with, how do I get in contact with the HOA? What's the fastest way to get in communication with them? So in case any issues do arise when you do plan to live in this complex, that you know that you have someone that can quickly solve your problems. So hopefully after this video, you have a better understanding of what to look for when it comes to what is a good HOA, what is a bad HOA, what are things to look for, what are things to be cautious of. But of course, when it comes to HOAs, there's still a lot more smaller specific niche things that may encounter that you may see. So if you're looking for someone with a more detailed, more nuanced explanation regarding HOA documents, I definitely do a review like this with my real estate clients here in the Bay Area. So if that's something that may appeal to you, that you may want help in, feel free to contact me. My contact info in the description below. And if you're looking to buy property here in the Bay Area, I make videos on my channel all about Bay Area real estate, the home buying process, different community tours. So check out more videos on my channel. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.